There's still no arrests after the discovery of the bodies of 2 children who went missing earlier this week in Soweto. The Rockville and White City residents say they're living in fear and have lost confidence in the police. eNCA reporter Manqoba Mchunu is on the ground there following these developments. Let's cross to him now. A community very much in fear for those most vulnerable around them. What are people saying to you there, Manqoba?
Well, Marcel, you can understand the anxiety for many of the community members who are fearing for their children's safety. And this is what many have been telling us, that since this incident occurred, they're even scared to have their children playing out on the streets. And of course, the community is saying that they're not sure whether the killers are still around, lurking in this community, because, as you know, Marcel, there have been no arrests so far. But what we've been seeing here today are some of the political parties that have been coming here to mourn with the families and to offer their condolences to the families. Earlier on, we saw the Democratic Alliance as well as the eNCA Freedom Party that were here just visiting these families and speaking to these families. And of course, they are gaining calls for police to arrest those suspects. And also we've seen some of the religious groups coming here to offer their words of sympathy to the family. But just to talk further on this, I'm now joined by one of the groups, and I'm going to be speaking to Mama here, Dinewo Shabangu from the Jabavu Methodist Church. Mama, just the reason why you are here today, what it is that you're coming to say here today?
Sizelana because sizo gwanemswaneni nefamily ehanjelo umntwana singabomama basejabavu second. Ngihamba nomama noBhayibheli, ngihamba nomama usisi eswesekete, ngihamba noSecretary weKotali meeting. Sizothi kulomndeni singabomama sizwile ubhlungu ababuzwile. Kuyo yonke lenhlekelele ebavelele sizokhala nabo because singabomama besililo. Singabomama bokuthandaza, siyi-Methodist, sithe asize nathi sizokhala kunye nabazali abahanjelwe, laba bazali ababili bama-families awu-2. Sizothi emndenini sikhona singabomama bokuthandaza, sikhona kuyo yonke into abayidingayo, more especially on praying, because thina owethu umsebenzi it's service and prayer. Sizokhuleka kunye nabo, sizobanika amandla ukuthi bazi ukuthi njengoba singabomama bokuthandaza asibona bomama bokuthandaza nje enkonzweni, ribomme bathapelo le kamontle mo di community tsa rona. So ha go tlhagasilo le rona re amatha re atla re tlo re nxe ha go theoga se sa theogeng re tlo lla le bona, because sena se se tsagetseng ha se monate. Sere se kopang ko modimo, re kopa modimo re lwanele, modimo re lwanele, modimo re utlwele botlhoko. Di pulao tsena they are not well, di pulao tsena ha di monate, di pulao tsena di etsa batswadi re qetelle re na le stress, re qetella re sa tsebe le gore bana ba rona ba tshwantse ba bapale ko kae. So really Methodist Jabavu Circuit re tlo re mo family tsena tse pedi re teng fela ka thapelo. Mesisi eswa sekete go na le envelope a yentseng a ikentseng ko legaeng gore ba thuse.
Because of time, Mama, I'll have to cut you short. But Marcel, here, the lady just saying that they're here as a church to offer their support. Of course, they're crying with the family on what has happened here, the gruesome murders that has happened here. And they're just praying that God intervenes and, be with this community to try and offer them some sort of hope and to stop the killings of children that are happening in this community. But I'm going to be speaking now to the family member just to try and get a sense of how they are doing and how do they feel about the investigation and whether they are getting the answers. Sister Msile, thank you for your time. Siswabi, as it stands, njengamanje ninjani nje njengomndeni?
Kuthi Manqoba angazi ukuthi nga-explain ngithini ngendlela esifila ngayo, sifila kabuhlungu. Into esingayicela nje sicela uNkulunkulu ukuthi uNkulunkulu akasincede batholakale labantu and ngicela nayo ingelosi le abayibulele ngoba lo mntwana ingelezi umntwana makane 6 years akazilutho so lo mntwana naye akazilwele asikatholi nix asazi ukuthi abobani ababulali kodwa siyathemba ngomusa kaNkuluNkulu bazotholakala labantu abenzele senzo esibuhlungu lento abayenzile kulomzukulu wami.
So mama, ngoke nibona kanjani ngophenyo khona mhlawumbe nikutholayo ukuthi kwenzakalani ngophenyo?
Okwamanje asikatholi lutho ngoba ugogo mntwana mina ngugogo omdala so lokho bamthathe ngo9 eMroka police station ulokhu ahleli khona so asazi ukuthi iqhubekani ngoba manje balile sesaya sithi siyovela ukuthi sithole bathi singangeni so ngilokho ngikhuluma naye ngama WhatsApp ukuthi ngithole so ungitshele nje ukuthi basamkhipthile bambhalisa uzobuya late so asikatholi.
Ngisafuna impendulo namanje.
Impendulo siyasifuna baba siyasifuna kakhulu ngoba if singazitholi impendulo lento izoqhubeka abantwana abaningi abazofa.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Wow, that was Temsile Mtombeni, who is a family member, just explaining that as a family, they're still shattered at what happened to their young boy, Tsiamo Ndlovu. And they're saying that they still are nowhere in terms of finding answers as to what really happened. They still don't know who those killers are and why their child was so brutally murdered. The family is saying, of course, that as far as investigations are concerned, they do not know what's happening. They have not heard how far those investigations are going and how they are progressing. What they do know is that one of the grandmothers is at the police station. She's been with the police and they're speaking to her in terms of how the investigations are going. But the family is saying that they're still hoping and looking for answers as to what really happened. And I think it's a sentiment that we're hearing from many of the community members who are saying that they want to make sense of these killings, they want answers, and they want to understand how could such a heinous crime happen in their community.
Manqoba, I hope that you can hear me, but just before I let you go, obviously with social media playing such a big part of our lives, and now especially in crimes in South Africa, there is also talk that there's been word circulating on social media that the community itself had apprehended 2 suspects in connection with that crime. Have you heard anything in that regard from where you're standing?
Well, Marcel, I can tell you that we haven't heard that. In fact, we spoke to police earlier on just to find out how investigations were going, and they're saying at this particular point they're still investigating. We know, of course, that they've roped in the occult unit, and there's also a task team that is looking specifically at this issue, because we recall, Marcel, that there are also allegations that these murders could have been multi-related, given the fact that both these bodies, when they were discovered, they were found mutilated with some of the body parts haven't been removed. And I think when you look at both the bodies, it seems that it's almost similar body parts that were removed. So there are fears that this could possibly be related to multi-killings at this stage. What we understand is that the police are still looking into that. We know that they're also talking to the family of the young 5-year-old boy who survived this incident, who's going to play a crucial role as far as investigations are concerned. Of course, yesterday we heard from the father saying that his son had been chased with a knife by those criminals. He saw that the criminals were traveling in a blue car. So those are the details that we know so far. But as far as arrests are concerned, the police saying that no one has been arrested so far. They're still investigating this particular incident.
Okay, thank you so much for that update. Our man on the scene, Manqoba Mchunu, reporting to us live there from Rockville in Soweto.